Hi, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back. It's Monday, April the 25th. It's 3 o'clock Eastern time. We're into the final hour of trading.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Today, and we're covering a bit of a recovery in the markets. So we'll see how it goes. The Dow seems to be improving quite a bit from the 400 plus point drop we had this morning. We're now up 19.8. We were a little higher just a few minutes ago, but we have not been able to hold all these gains. We'll be watching this here between now and the final hour. That's for sure. We're up 15 points. The Dow got up to 33,946. It's now 33,827. So we've given up 121 or 119 points from the high of the day. So that's quite a turnaround. But we had a pretty good surge here. We were just sitting around, well, what was that, 33,620, 620 or so. So we went up 320 points in the span of an hour, 45 minutes. And now we've given up 100 of it. So we're up 18.9 right now on the Dow Jones. Over on S&P, we're down 9.3. We were positive for a little bit. And NASDAQ is still up 49.5. at the moment. Oil is recovering a little bit. It's still down 294 at 99.13 a barrel. So we were down $6 something at one point today. So around and around go these quotes, as one would think they would. Carvana, talk about a yo-yo. This thing is really going all over the place. It just topped out a few minutes ago. Got up to like 82.50 about 40 minutes ago, came back a bit, tried another run, couldn't hit a higher high. It got to about 82. Now it's 79.36 and backing off. It's still down 4.39 on the day. The high 82.50, the low 75.30. So we got a $7 spread on Carvana right now on 10.2 million. As they're trying to raise money to raise billions of bucks to make some kind of an acquisition. And this stock is really gyrating here. The low 75.34, just around 12 to 1 o'clock, somewhere in that range. It touched it a couple of times, or was in the neighborhood for a few moments. I think we also, right on the opening, we hit 75.34 right off the bat. And we've been bouncing around ever since. Right now, 79.26. Down 449 on Carvana. Over on Twitter, 5163, holding a gain here of $2.70. The high of the day was hit around 12:30 today. It looks like 52.27, but it's now 51.63 at the moment. And we're trying to figure out if this, it looks like Twitter accepts Elon Musk's buyout deal. Looks like it's official now. Looks like we might have an official agreement between the parties that he will buy the company officially. Let me just double Twitter. Elon Musk strike a deal. Yeah, they accept it. Give him the world's richest man, control the influential social media network, and so that's it. So it's official there. The shares are still below 52.40. We'll see how this meanders along here. There could still be, in theory, now this is theoretical, there could still be another offer coming in. There could well be a mystery group or person or someone out there who would love to get this thing but hasn't had enough time to do it, or now that they've sort of hung around a little on the sidelines, they've noticed what Elon has done and what the board has agreed to. Now they kind of know those details. Maybe a third party will come in now and say, hang on a second, I think I can do better than Elon. The board, you may want to reconsider this, and who knows? It can happen. I do remember in the 80s when I was in the brokerage business. Those are wild days in the 80s. We had oil prices really go nuts. This would be like late 70s, 80s. And in Canada, Western Canada here where I am, there were a few years where a lot of consolidation was happening between publicly traded oil and gas companies, private oil and gas companies, sometimes two public companies would try to buy a private company. Sometimes a public company try to buy a private company, and there would be bids. There would be two or three suitors trying to take over a private company or another public company, and so there'd be counteroffer after counteroffer. There'd be all kinds of deals, and the media were just going nuts trying to stay on top of all of this. And the shareholders are just going, whoever gives us the best deal, I guess we're going to take it. Just let us know what the best deal is when you guys figure it out. And some of these deals could take 3-6 months to happen. Normally, what it would have taken back in those days was a company buying another company. The first company would need a bank loan to facilitate the takeover. A second public company would come along, but they wouldn't go for a bank loan. They would have a private backer. They might have an investment house where they've already negotiated the sale of bonds for whatever number of dollars are required to pay cash for the whole, entity, the target company. Other times there would be public companies that would go public, and they would propose a combination deal. They would do something like, we need $500 million. We have $300 million cash on hand that we're going to use, and we're going to raise $200 million from investors that we have, or followers we have, or bankers we have, if the bid is accepted. And there were times where the takeover target would go, well, we're not going to accept that deal because you don't have the cash on hand to close this deal. You only have the cash on hand once we move first, and we don't want to accept the deal unless it's a bought deal. And again, protecting the shareholders, looking after their rights. Here in this case with Elon Musk, no problem at all. Obviously, the board has been satisfied with Elon's commitment to taking down this deal. $54.20 a share, I think, in cash. $51.63 is where it's at right now. In theory, you could buy the stock right now at $51.60 and tender it for $52.40 or $54.20, excuse me, when the deal is announced to be tendered, and make the difference. In theory, I don't see him backing off from the deal. I don't see anything not happening. I don't believe it's an 80% of the whole thing. I think it's the whole thing. But we'll see how it all falls out. That's where we're at. We're up 270 on the stock. Cyxtera is up 47 cents. I see the Dow right now is down 30 points, now down 22 points. Rocket Lab unchanged at 771. SoFi is up 11. It's at 650. GameStop down 432. Just took a bit of a dip here. 133.90. It just took a dip in a hurry in the last 5 minutes from about, looks like from about 136.70 down to 134.10. And this is quickly approaching the low of the day. I think we may have even hit the low of the day at 133.70 a few minutes ago. So yeah, 133.95. We're getting some selling in right now on GameStop. It doesn't look like massive volume. It's 1.2 million on the day, but something triggered somebody to sell stock in the last 10 minutes on GameStop. Just saying. That's what I see. That's what I see. Okay, the Dow now down 19, S&P down 16, NASDAQ up 8. The markets are definitely turning negative. Cheryl, I just saw your donation on PayPal. Thank you. Send me the list of your lessons, and we'll get you looked after. And those of you who have already taken advantage of this 4 for 3 deal, thank you very much. I've sent out a bunch of emails with links already. But any more that come in now, I'll take care of them after this show, and we'll get you looked after. So let me know the lessons you'd like to get. Thank you, everybody. Abram, thank you. Duncan, thank you. Mirko, everybody for I'm your doobie. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up buttons right there. Number 10, 41, 42, 34. They're all coming in. Thank you guys for constantly supporting this channel. These thumbs ups really are important. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's go. Zach is number 8. Hey, Bruce, I'm just checking in. Great morning show. I'll have to watch this one on the replay after I'm done running around this afternoon. Happy Monday to everybody. You take care. Stephen, thanks for being here. Credit Savage, as always. Thank you for popping in. Hector's here. Thank you. 99 Nations is here. Of course, Duncan is here. He's the man. Mark is here. Just bought Twitter. Right on. Credit Savage. If I was to recommend some classes It would be 2, 3 how to write puts and poor man cover calls that will have you coming back, take good notes, and think of Uncle B as a very serious Harvard class and ask, what's he on, what when he's on. Right on. Thank you, all of you. DH Ruta, thank you. Aurora, thank you for being here as well. Elon buys Twitter. Cody, thanks. I said in the morning, Jen called the near-term bottom and confirmed the buy bias. Thanks, Jen. Alberto, Uncle, when a stock is going to split, does it usually lose value before or gain? Again, usually. I know you don't have your aluminum hat foil on. Alberto, it depends sometimes on the markets. It can depend on it can depend on sort of sometimes a surprise factor. Like, for example, I believe that when Apple announced their split, was it 2 years ago, a couple of years ago? When they announced their split, I think the market was generally surprised that happened. I think it was generally, some were not caught off guard, but others were. Now, the Apple at the time was 400 something a share, if I remember this right, and it was a 4-for-1, something like that. But then, the street really took to it. The street wasn't upset when the announcement was made. I was far from it. It was a pleasant surprise, I think. A company came out with an announcement doing a split. And within 60 days, it was all done. And the stock was now trading. And by the time everything was all said and done, the shares were up to like 140, 150, and that's $600 a share. So way to go. Now, these 20-for-1 splits we have for Amazon and Google, these particular two, the first one, which I think was Google, went first, right? And Amazon followed second. It was a surprise when Google came out, but it was a welcome relief surprise because so many retail investors are stuck owning, 0.6854% of one share, like 2/3 of a share with thousands and thousands of percentage points because of these platforms that you can buy and sell stock on. People are buying $300 worth of stock, $800, $1,500 worth of dollars. So there are just all kinds of small little rinky-dink fractional shareholders everywhere. It's a nightmare for brokers to handle this. It's a nightmare. A 20-for-1 now means, if you've got 1/10 of a share, you now have 2 shares. I mean, 1/20th of a share, you have a share. So at least that gets all those people into round numbers of stock. Now, there's still going to be people out there with 2.684942 of shares because of what they have now versus what they're going to end up with. But a lot of folks who have 3 and 5 and 15 and 40 shares, they're going to have 20 times the number of shares, and this is going to make a huge difference. And I can see where a lot of people who have not been able to write options now can write options on Google and Amazon. And this will bring the spread down between bid and ask on the stock and on all the contracts that we trade. So this is a good move. Same with Amazon. So will it move the market? So far we haven't seen phenomenal returns issued by anybody, for everybody yet on these issues. Let me look at Google now. Here we go. We've got Google here at 2437 right now. Let me look up 6 months. Because I think the announcement kind of come out in January sort of thing. I think the shares were around 2600, 25, 30, and then they did take a shot to 2900, but then they've come back and here we are now 24. And I think they're now lower than before the announcement was made. And if anyone's getting them here, I think you're going to be fine. I really do. I think you're going to be just fine buying them here because it's very likely, it could be likely that as we approach split day, we come up to record day, split day, we might see a little bit of a move. And then right after the split is done, we may see a move again. Now, right now, if they were split this second, that 20-to-1 split would bring the stock to $120 and 121.80, something like that. It's possible that shares in the next month could run up to 140, 150. Well, that's 3,000 a share. So, getting in here 2,400 and running it to 3,000, 600 a share, you buy 5 shares, you make 600 a share. That's $3,000 in gains, but it'll be from 120 to 140 or 150. That's how it's going to go. Now, obviously, those of you who are going to have the stock, who buy the shares now, pre-split, you're going to have 20 for everyone you got. You will be, if you buy 10 shares now, you've got 200 shares later. You buy 20 now, you got 400 later. Well, 400 shares means you could write 4 contracts, but you'll be looking to write 4 125s or 4 130s. You might wait for the split to go through, sit on your hands, cross your arms a little bit, just hold the shares, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 shares you got, and wait, see if the stock does go to 130, 35 or 140 in the first few weeks. And if they do move up that high, then you might write a 145 or a 150 call against a stock that you got for 121. And now you don't mind getting exercised at 150 if you got taken out, especially if you get a $3, $4, $5 premium on top of that. You're selling at 155 for a 121 purchase. Hey, take me out if you want to take me out. But now you can be a long-term shareholder of this company going forward. So there's a lot of folks out there who, over the years have accumulated Google shares bit by bit by bit. They may have put in a couple of $100 every couple of weeks or so through a paycheck automatic thing. And they're sitting on like 7 shares right now, and they're about to have, 20 times as many. Going to end up with 140. Fantastic. Others out there might have, who knows, they might have as many as 100 shares right now that they've acquired. And they're going to end up with 2,000 shares. Way to go. That's 20 contracts. If you can write 20 contracts on Google and bring in, if you can net out, you can net out $400 a month on a contract times 20. That's $8,000 a month in revenue. What are you working for again? I forgot. What was that? There you go. You could be an option writer full time, up to all of you, any of you, how you want to do it. All right. What else is going on? Anyone know why Twitter is closed? I don't think it's closed. I think we're up. We're trading 51.87. I thought we were live. Twitter made me almost $600 today. I'm selling $150 contract and buying it back again and again. Sold a January 23 covered call a few weeks back. Bought it back today, 175 profit. Sold a May 6, 350. Bought it back for 250. 3 times I did that today. Sweet, Credit Savage. That is a sweet job. I love how you're doing it. Scott, I'm loving this. Once again, Musk is giving me money. There you go. Verizon trying to buy it up. A $44 billion distraction. He's still guilty for embezzling SpaceX funds to buy out Solar City. And what else is here? Duncan's here. What else going on? Abra and Elon Land's Twitter deal. Thank you all. Continuing through here, we'll go up here. I've just bought 100 more SoFi with my Twitter gains. Oh yeah, averaging down and buying a super bargain. There it is. That is the strategy right there. Take these deals. $650 on SoFi. Thank you very, very much. Very wise, says 99 Nations. John Anderson, hi everybody. Welcome. Larry, hi everybody. Hey Larry. H. Gregory, I'm number 23. Zed, I'm thumbs up number 58, buddy. Thank you, man. Thank you guys for stepping up here. Uncle Bruce, if Apple misses their targets, will the stock go down, or if so, will it take down the entire market? Well, it's a powerful stock, powerful influence on indexes. Speaking of indexes, Dow's up 108 now. We're really jumping here. We're up 3 on S&P. We're up 75 on Nasdaq. Apple, if Apple disappoints on their numbers, or if Apple doesn't disappoint but the outlook scares off people, the shares could go down. Sure, they could, but for how long and for how much? This we have to wait out. I think it's going to also depend a lot about the volatility of that day. That's this Thursday, by the way. I guess it'll be after the market close, so we'll only have Friday this week to trade on the day after Apple's earnings. That'll be this Friday only, and then of course next week, Monday, we start again. But it's going to be seen to see. Always interesting to see this. The stock right now is 161, and we're down like a quarter, big deal. The high for the past 52 weeks has been 182.94, almost 183 bucks, and we're at 161. So we're $22 off the high of the previous year. The low 122.25. So there's a $60 range for you. We're at 161. So we're 40 off the low, 20 off the high. That's where we are. The market cap of the company, $2.6 trillion. Remember, we did hit $3 trillion last November when the market hit its all-time high. When everything's running at that point. Now we've backed off since. Now the company still buys back its stock. They still pay a dividend. They still make oodles of money, and they're trading at 26.8 times earnings right now. 26.8. Now, if the quarter previous, the quarter we're about to get, which will replace last year's quarter a year ago, if this new quarter, which replaces last year's quarter, is 50% higher than last year, or 35% higher than last year, but no matter what it is higher, the PE multiple will drop. The price earnings, the price of the stock versus earnings of the shares, will be a lower number because there's more earnings to divide into the shares. So the lower the PE multiple, the perceived upward potential of the stock. I mean, who's calling now? I don't know. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? So exciting. I wish Jen would get it. I really do. I really do wish Jen. I can't see her from here, so I don't know what she's doing. There it is. I don't know. I guess the machine got it. I don't know. I don't answer the phones. I try not to answer the phone. Oh, by the way, this morning I did have a phone call, and I addressed it. That was my cousin in Germany. It's all good. We're going to get together. Yay. So it's all good. Okay. So, yeah, GameStop Apple, could go down, but Apple might trade at a PE multiple that is so rich and juicy that the market will go, oh, wow, look at that. The latest quarter just came in, and oh, man, the PE multiple went from 26 to 22. This stock could trade at a 26 multiple. We could go up nicely here. We could go up 10, 15, 20 bucks a share. Couple that, though, with the possible uncertainty that might be talked about. We may have Apple management come out and say, okay, guys, look, calm down here. Yeah, we're happy with our numbers for the quarter we just posted. But right now, we're into the next quarter. And this quarter, we got problems in Shanghai. We got a Shanghai problem, as does China. China's got a huge Shanghai lockup problem. That might temper any kind of gain. So it might be a soft. The stock could have gone to 185, but it's not going anywhere because of what's coming up. Because stocks don't trade on the history. They trade on future potential. And so Apple right now is muted, $20 lower than the high of the year, and we're coming up with earnings in 3 days. So stand by. We'll see what happens. Sell my house in Marlboro, number 64 thumbs ups. Thank you. You are the man. Thanks. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. DQ, I'm thumbs up 69. Let's see. Hey, Brucey, Mr. T. Hey, Brucey, hope you're well, man. I have a quick, rather random query for you. I have $60 calls on Twitter that expire this Friday. What would you do? Sell now or wait till it starts trading higher tomorrow? What do you think? Well, good question on Twitter. What to do on a Twitter call that is, quote, out of the money. And now I'm wondering, are you long? You are long. Sell now or wait, right? So you were looking for possibly a higher takeover. I'm not sure. Let me just check for you. I want to just see if I can pull the quote up on it. Let my little computer here reload here, and I'll take a look. Dow's now up 190. It looks like. Let me get this through here. Yeah, 186. Twitter is at $52, even up 307. Okay, so Twitter, we get the Twitter to pop up here. It's at $52. And let's let my computer settle in. Okay, let's go to options. And you have options. You said dying this Friday, I think you said. 60s. Where are we at on these contracts? 27 to 29 cents. Okay, right, and being out of the money, obviously. Okay, now let me go back into my. Where's my question? Here it is. This Friday, you might as well just dump. Might as well dump them. You might as well just dump them. You're not going to go. The stock's not going to 60. If this deal is an accepted deal on Twitter by the board, there will be no counter offer by Friday, unless something shocking happens. But I mean, 57s are 41-cent bid, 58s are 29, 59s are 32, 60s are 27, 61s are 26. I mean, probably just dump them, just take the money and move on. Just move on. Stock resumes trading and it's up more than 6% after the deal. Now, in theory, look, between now and the close in 33 minutes, in theory, if the shares want to give us a little more to 52.5 to 52.75 to 53, maybe your contracts will go up 3 or 4 or 5 cents. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's really much here more for this for you. I mean, you can wait later today. You can wait till tomorrow. You can wait till Thursday, whatever you want. If the shares reach 54.20, they're still out of the money $1.80. Okay, and if they're $1.80 out of the money on Thursday morning, Friday morning, you're worth a nickel. So that's my thing. You can't assume it'll trade higher tomorrow either or ever. Says I am your doobie. True stories. Okay. Anyway, there it is. What else is going on? What else is happening? What's happening? Hi, all. Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Mr. T, I am your doobie. Agreed, but they were cheap, and I'm not overly fussed about losing money on them. Just thinking back to some takers this year that far exceeds the actual takeover price. Exactly right. Let's see. Duncan, I'm number 81. Phone's ringing, dude. I know, Donnie. I know. Twitter makes me one last $325 on the May 6th cover call to finish up, and I'm not buying this one back until it hits $1 or less. 10 days to dare the stock to stay at 50. It's all premium. Thank you, Uncle B. Well done. I am your doobie. The answer is an easy one. You've got some risk tolerance on basically a YOLO. There you go. Let's see. What else is going on? Thank you, everybody. Coffee break for Duncan. Right on, buddy. Let's see. Yeah, I sold that Twitter right before the big dip. Yeah, baby. Well done, man. You're right on it. Let's see. The news is out. The Musk offer has been accepted. Exactly. There you go. All right. The Dow right now up 124. Sure beats a 420-point loss earlier today, doesn't it? And we've got Carvana at 80.65. It's hanging in there, but I think there's more downside than upside personally, but that's just me. Mr. T, thanks, Uncle Bruce. St. Bruce, much appreciated. It was just a cheap YOLO bought last week. Had puts as well. That's where my big YOLO was. Right on, buddy. Right on. Twitter 52.12 now. It's up a little more. 12.61 up 59 cents. Good to see that coming back a bit. Rocket Lab up 3 cents. SoFi up 12 to 6.51. GameStop 134.94 down 3.28. Looks like it's recovered from this little dip it just had. A little bit, not a lot. Still down 3.28. AMC up 19 cents to 6.71. 16.71. It dropped to. It got up to like what did it do here? Sorry, it got up to 16.95 and now 16.73. So AMC had a run and it just dipped off. Matterport is unchanged at 6.12. ME up 15 cents to 3.21. Spire down 4. Hycroft Mining down 8 to 141.5. ATIP down 1.5 cents. SmartRent up 11 cents. Pfizer has turned it around. They're now 48.94. Hewlett Packard has turned it around, up 19 cents to 36.98. Robinhood holding a 5-cent gain. Bannock up 2.36. Home Depot up 4.25. To 304. That's back over 3. IBM up 68 cents. Microsoft is ahead 539 to 279. So 280 calls are back in play. Apple 162.13 up 34. 165 calls might be written there. Goldman up $1.23. It's at $321. Low today 312. $9 turnaround. Very nice. I'm glad. I know a lot of my poor man covered call option holders are happy to see this again. Go Goldman, go. Cisco up 54 to 51.90. Facebook up 185. Amazon up $25. Tesla down $14. Google up 56. Make that 59 on Google now. Bed Bath Beyond down 37. BlackBerry down 3. Royal Caribbean up 37 cents. We got Target up 38. JP Morgan down 23. Costco down 4.45. Walmart up 22. Nvidia up $1.70. American Airlines down 26 cents. 19.92. Netflix down 6.77 to 2.08. And Moderna up 9.40 to 149.80. Holding on right there. 171 gain on the Dow. Big turnaround. A dead cat bounce from the 1,000-point drop the other day from Friday. But we'll take a 190 gain. I mean, that's 1/5 of the loss, kinda. Always helps. Don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's see here. What else is going on? Credit Savage. Of course, right after I sell the stock and I make up my mind that's the last time they decide to make official the Twitter deal. Thanks, Elon. Not. He's laughing a lot. Scott, I bought back my Twitter cash secured puts at 44.50 for May 6 and 45 for May 20. I got about 315 each. Picked them back up at 20 cents and 35 cents each. Not bad for being in the place since Thursday. So nice return. Sold these at 315 and bought them at 20 and 35 cents each. Well done. Love it. Not bad at all, says Credit Savage. Not bad at all. Look, you can make money in these option markets all the time. It's a question of what is it you're after? I mean, if you're going to write calls on like GameStop, you can day trade options on GameStop calls if you want to, where you're taking $1 swings in contracts. You can always play that game. You write calls when the stock is closer to 140 and you buy them back when the stock is 136 or 135, and you make a couple of bucks on a contract or whatever whatever your swing trade is, depending on how close to the money you are, how close to time you are. There's all kinds of ways to play this game. Lots of fun. But the key to writing options, the best part about it is if you're wrong, you've sold a contract out of the money for premium, and you're wrong, the stock's going up, you don't mind. It's okay. You've got that premium to protect you against any kind of a swing. And you can always do a rollover if you need to for a higher strike price. So that's why you take my lessons, figure this out, and become educated like these guys are here and start scoring some money from this market that it's just handing it over. I mean, the market is just handing money over all the time here. Interesting times. 134.91 down 331 on GameStop. Twitter is at 52.03 up 310. The Dow's up 196. We got S&P up, looks like about 14 points or so, 14 and a half, and NASDAQ is up 116 points. Got oil down 283 a barrel right now at the moment. Yeah, interesting what's going on. Barron's headline says that Twitter's capitulation to Musk is another sign that stocks are in trouble. That's the headline. It could be that Elon just has perfect timing. It just happened to work out for him. The timing is just right because he's offering to buy a company for all cash, and it isn't a $4 billion deal. It's a $43 billion deal. And he happens to have it. And cash is king. Cash always is king. And that's why when you write a call, you get the cash in your account right now. And now you're able to spend that cash when you want to buy back that call. But you're looking for your price. And if it's depreciating because of time, thank you very much. Take it. All right. Interesting. Does it make any sense to hold my Twitter shares till tomorrow? Some of it doesn't make any sense. The longer you hold it, the closer it will probably reach 54.20. So it will go through 52 to 53. It'll get to 54-ish, and you can probably sell it up there because this is a done deal. It's going to happen at 54.20. So you can do that, sure. Totally up to you. Whatever timing you want to go with. see what's going on. SoFi has been showing resistance in both rising and falling with the overall market. I may have to review the put-call ratio later and other factors. And Duncan says, I don't have any TV news services. Interesting stuff. 220 gain on the Dow now. Accelerating gains with 24 minutes left to go. 215 gain. Carvana, $80.68, down 307. The stock has been caught up in a little bit of a positive wave of the market, the Dow being higher, and Carvana kind of going with it. Still down on the day, though. Twitter up 294, 51.87. Sixter up 61 to 12.63. It's good to see that back a little bit. Rocket Lab up 5, SoFi up 12, GameStop 291 lower, 135.31 right there. All right. Stocks trying to build on these gains. The Nasdaq up 129, and the S&P is up 0.46 of a percentage point at 1974. That's the gain over there. Can the deal be done in pre or aftermarket? This deal is a done deal. Can be done anytime, 24/7. It just happened to conclude during the market hours, and Musk and the board probably went back and forth with a few discussions, timing discussions, logistics discussions. There has to be a shareholder vote called now. The shareholders have to vote on it. So the board is going to have to set a date using securities lawyers to adhere to all securities rules to make sure all shareholders get notification of this offer. They're all given notification that the board likely is unanimously recommending they take the offer, that they recommend it. It's the best deal to be had. Obviously, the board will be notifying its employees through its management what's going on, because it's likely that a bunch of employees are shareholders and they have to know what this means. There may or may not be indications from Mr. Musk regarding employability of employees and senior management. It could be that Mr. Musk is happy to make a deal that says no personnel changes for minimum 6 months, or nothing. No one loses their jobs for the next year, or there is no deal whatsoever where everyone is vulnerable. We don't know. This is all part of the chat. This is all part of the negotiation. Credit Savage. Oh boy, that Twitter 56325 cover call I said was the last one I sold today. Oh, may have to take it back. It just dipped to 245. Would be wrong if I bought it back on stink bid for $2 on the burst, or is that being greedy? Again, I'm not sure what the strike price is on this thing. I think you told me that before, but I've read so many messages. But are you out of the money on this? I'm not even sure, but. Hey, a trade's a trade. Okay, then I'm now really in struggle. He likes to do things fast, and I can only take about 9 of those units at an opening. Great, thanks, Uncle B. Okay, 99 Nation. Uncle Bruce, it's pretty obvious the Fed needs to ratchet up the basis points, but of course they won't do it in one full step. How many can you reasonably foresee next hike? I have, in my lifetime, I had seen a 1% increase being done in one shot. I think I've seen 1.5 being done in one shot, like by Canada. I've seen that. I am so old. I remember when Canada used to do bank rate increases without any notice whatsoever. I'd be talking to you like this, and then the headline would come across and go, Bank of Canada raises bank rate 0.75 of a point. No pre-announcement. No, they're not even we didn't even know they were meeting. They can do that. They can do that in the U.S. too. They don't have to wait for the monthly. Don't think that it has to be every month. The Federal Reserve Chairman can raise rates tonight at midnight if he wants, at 2 a.m. if he wants. When we wake up tomorrow, the rate could be 1 point higher because he said so. It's just the board. He'll go to the board. They'll have a phone meeting, a Zoom meeting. They'll adopt it. They'll announce it. It's a done deal. The bond markets will go nuts overnight in Asia and Europe. We wake the next morning and go, what the hell's going on? And we find out that, the rates went up last night. That can happen. don't think it can't happen, but right now it's kind of orderly and every month or two. Anyway, the Chris Savage, I mean, they are literally threatening me with free money, Uncle Bruce. What am I supposed to do here? I'm just an unemployed stay-at-home dad, house husband. I'm not supposed to take the money. These are $50 strikes. Oh, I see, 50. Well, look, theoretically, your strike, this contract's going to be worth 420. If you can buy it at 240 now, why don't you take it? I take the money, and then look at writing maybe write a 51 or a 52, and I don't know, just take the money. Duncan, check Golden Sack 3 months. I'm not sure what this means. Credit Savage, 99 Nations, 50 basis points. Remember that they just put up a fence around FED building this weekend, so I was thinking one whole percentage point. That's why they're getting ready for the protest. I'm expecting 50, but it has been more. Yeah, it has been much more than that. Yeah, I think the thing most I ever saw was 1.5. I've seen like in a 90-day window, rates go up 3%, like in 90 days. I've seen it maybe more than that in 120. These are the old days. Unless they're serious, they'll need to hike 9% to put on the brake. Yeah, I mean they'll go half a point probably on the next one. That gets them to 3/4. Then the next month they'll do it again, and that's 1.25, and they'll just keep talking it up to kind of get you into it, I suppose. But again, the real way to slow down this money thing is to bring back the quantitative easing, unload bonds, sell them into the market. That's how you get things going. So you're trying to talk the interest rates up and the market isn't going with you, sell bonds into the market, flood it with all kinds of product. Prices of the bonds drop, yields rise. They can force it that way too. And then they pump the rate every month or so. Yeah, it's all good. 192 gain on the Dow with 17 minutes to go. Carvana now 80.67 down 308. Twitter 51.90, 297 gain today on the day. Sixter up 59 cents. Rocket Lab up 7. SoFi 652. 652 on SoFi up 12. GameStop 135.08 down 135.01, roughly down 321 a share today on GameStop. That's where we're at there. AMC up 32 cents. Matterport unchanged, now down a penny. ME up 15.5, 321.5. Spire down 4.5 cents. Haycroft down 9 cents to 141. ATIP 161.5 down a half a penny. Smart Rent up 13 to 489. Pfizer has turned around. It's 49.01, and Hewlett Packard up 24 to 37.02 right now. That's it there. If we got some gains, 249 on the Dow, 20 on S&P. We're definitely moving higher. And NASDAQ is up a percentage point, 138. It's the leader, NASDAQ, 1%. The Dow up 7.4, 3/4 of a point. And the S&P just over half a point higher. Matterport is extra jumpy today, and the volume is up. Maybe a real bottom. Let's hope so. What's the volume on Goldman Sachs? What is it doing? Goldman is now sitting at 322 up 225, 2.5 million volume. Not sure if that's all that much for that stock, but it's higher. Microsoft's up $6. Apple up 85 cents. IBM up $1. It was down 2 something today. Home Depot up 488. It was as low as 296. Now 304. 305 make it, and up 3 on Vanek Vector. So it's a positive gain today. We're still down from 2 days ago, obviously Thursday, Friday of last week, 2 trading days ago. So we'll see what's going on here. Scott, I was really thinking about shorting Carvana 77.70. I don't think I could stomach it. 99 Nation, Cody, I saw that a bit there too. And Carvana 81.25, down 2.5. On the day. Oh, pardon me, everybody. I'm hanging in there, working away here, guys. One step after another. So much fun. Let's see here. We got activity here running along. We have 102 thumbs ups. I thank you so far for 102 thumbs ups. If you can hit that thumbs up button in this next 15 minutes, let YouTube know that you guys are enjoying the show. You enjoy the interaction. That would be beautiful. And FL is saying that was the most understated point, Uncle Bruce. They can dump so many bonds in that the 10-year is 4% while borrowing rates are under 1. That's right. They're sitting on $9 trillion of bonds that they've bought. They're going to offload those. And anytime they want to raise rates half a point, they'll just dump some bonds into the market 24/7. The Treasury is never closed, by the by. There are employees of the Treasury at the Treasury 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The US Treasury never closes. The Canadian Treasury doesn't close. The UK doesn't close. In other words, the Bank of England, Bank of Canada, the ECB, the German bank, all nations' banks, federal, are always open with staff. Never, never off the trading desk. The trading desks are always able to trade whenever there's currency trading, no matter what time it is where you are. So while we are sleeping, there are Americans employed at the US Treasury Department buying and selling US dollars, buying and selling US bonds through their trading desks and through other dealers all the time. And every bank in the world of any significant size has trading desks around the world, not just in their hometown or at their head office, around the world, trading 24/7 bonds, currencies, and commodities, and then during and market hours, always. This is a liquid business, 24/7, every time zone. So it is this serious stuff, and for the good of the nation is why these central banks are doing what they do, because central banks are always aware of money flows, currency flows. There are times where US dollars are needed, and other times US dollars aren't needed as much. And the flow of dollars comes through the market either as a gain or a negative, and that can move markets. And that's the same for the Canadian dollar, the pound, the euro, Swiss francs, the yen, Chinese currency, any currency. And so the Bank of Canada is always monitoring its currency against every currency in the world. They have specialists for all this stuff and computer programs. And the Bank of Canada is always in the market to stabilize its currency. And if the Bank of Canada feels that the Canadian dollar is a little overvalued right now, it can find ways to bring it down. It just sells. I remember back in the 90s, there was a time where, as a matter of fact, it was like late 80s, 90s. There was a time where there was an attack on the Canadian dollar. Oil had really taken a dump, and foreign currency traders were suspecting that the Canadian dollar might be vulnerable and that it might back off because oil came down and commodities were under pressure, because Canada is known as a resource-based economy with all the commodities we have. We grow a lot of grain, and we mine, and we cut down trees, and all that stuff. In any event, and a lot of oil. The Canadian dollar was getting hammered, and it was going from like, I don't know, 88 cents to 86 cents to 85 cents. And this is over a few days. And the Bank of Canada was monitoring all this and was just wanting to see who's selling and how much. And the Bank of Canada knew, with all their contacts and all their friends, because the Bank of Canada has a very close relationship with their friends at the Treasury here in the USA, or in the USA, Bank of England, Tokyo. Canada is known as one of the good guys. So Canada has extremely strong, deep banking relationships with all these other countries in the world. The Canadian dollar is welcome everywhere. The yen is welcome in Canada. The US dollar is welcome in Canada, and on it goes. Okay, so Bank of Canada had figured out that there were a number of Chicago-based hedge funds that were shorting the Canadian dollar, and they found out that a whole bunch of guys were joining the party from overseas, mainly private players. It wasn't countries. There weren't any countries betting against Canada. It was speculators. And what I found out over time was Canada was facing a situation where they were in need of about, oh, I don't know, in those days, they were in need of about $10 billion of buying power to buy up their own currency. And the thinking was that the Bank of Canada would put in bids to buy up its own bonds and buy up its own currencies. And I think the way it worked was that Canada was selling its bonds and treasuries to make rates go up, which made the Canadian dollar more attractive because other countries would buy Canada's bonds as Canada was selling off bonds. As these bonds came down in price, other countries were buying into the bonds to take the higher interest rate. And so were private investors. Well, that created a demand for Canadian dollars. And to satisfy the demand for Canadian dollars, you need to buy Canadian dollars in the open market, the currency market. So in the currency market, there was a demand for Canadian dollars. And on the bond market, there was a supply of Canadian bonds coming in. And the government of Canada could issue treasury notes all at once, just like any other country can. And apparently, the rumor was that, again, this is way back when 10 billion was like 100 billion now, or more. And the word is that the U.S. Treasury officials at the U.S. Treasury made it known to the Canadian Bank of Canada officials that if you guys need to draw on any kind of cash, the U.S. Treasury would be more than happy to buy any treasury you want to sell us. We'll buy it anytime you need money. And of course, the U.S. economy is 100 times the size of the Canadian economy. It's massive. And so the Bank of Canada had basically a blank check to write it out for whatever amount they wanted to step in and correct the fall of the Canadian dollar in a hurry. And it was after 3 or so days, and it really became a story for a while inside the currency markets and the bond markets. This was a big story. The Canadian dollar collapsing, it's going to free fall. People were claiming it would go from the 80s to the 50s. It's a banana republic and blah, blah. I mean, Canada was being slammed. And Canada was just listening to who they were just listening. Who's saying this? Who's saying it? Who's saying it? Oh, okay, we'll write that down. Write that down. Those guys? Yeah, okay. Canada knew, and they quickly figured out, the Bank of Canada did. It was all a bunch of hedge fund guys trying to score a currency move. And overnight, while Canadians slept in the Asia markets, the Bank of Canada started buying the Canadian dollar. Gobs of it, and all you want to sell, and the sellers were hitting the Bank of Canada with all they got. And the Bank of Canada says, "How much more you got? How much more you got? You want to sell me some Canadian dollar? I'll take all you got." Well, these guys were shorting it. They're shorting the Canadian dollar to try to drive it down in price because they figured they had it on the run because they had such a good week going. But what they didn't realize that for every dollar that they could sell, the Bank of Canada had $1,000 that they could buy. I mean, it was a mismatch of epic proportion. Well, after about an hour of the Canadian government just buying up everything there was, the selling kind of eased off awful fast because people pulled back and went, "Whoa, wait a minute, there's a whale here." Who's the whale? Because they were thinking it was other hedge funds. No, it was the Bank of Canada. And then the U.S. government stepped in and they started buying Canadian dollars. And then the German government stepped in and started buying Canadian dollars. And the French government and the UK government. And all Canada's friends started buying, and governments started buying the dollar, the Canadian dollar, because it was so cheap. And they needed to buy the dollar to pay for the bonds that they were buying from the government of Canada. And they were more than happy to do it. And so the dollar turned on a dime. And it had gone from like 88 to 83 and was back to 87. And the next day, the dollar was 90. And then the next day, it was 92. And all these guys who had shorted billions of dollars, Canadian dollars, lost hundreds of millions of dollars each. They all lost a fortune. And a reporter somehow found a governor of the Bank of Canada and said, "Well, what do you make of the activity in the Canadian dollar?" And the comment was something like, "Off the record, so don't say it was me saying it, but it's not a good idea to mess with Canada's dollar. It's just not a good idea." Canada has too many friends. and that just stopped any and all future speculation on the Canadian dollar. Never again was that currency ever messed with, because what these speculators forgot was Canada is not only part of the G20, they're part of the G8. They're one of the 8 largest economies on the planet. Out of the 160 nations, Canada's in the top 8. And you want to take on Canada's currency? Are you out of your mind? No one has enough money for that. Nobody. The richest man in the world, Elon, would not dare short the Canadian dollar. No, he'd get wiped out 100 times over, because you're dealing with an entire nation than against a single person. So it was a most interesting little episode there. Anyway, thought you'd like that. Yes, there's ways to affect currencies very much so. Where are we at? We're up 217 on the Dow. 3 minutes to go. We're at 8101 on Carvana, down 274. Twitter 5180, up 287. Sextera up 60. Rocket Lab up 11. SoFi up 16. GameStop 135.47, down 275. There it is. There it is. What can I say? We'll see what's going on here. Yes. SoFi, the green light is on. You have permission to find your rightful place among the clouds, so get going. I agree. Let's go, SoFi, to the moon, please. Let's go. 655, up 16 cents. Let's go. Anyway, there it is. And there you have it. Thank you all so much to be here. Nice to all have you here. There you go. We are down to 2 minutes, and then we're done. We're up 236 on the Dow, 8106 on Carvana, Twitter 5181. So we're coming through. Oil down 295 to 99.12 a barrel. There you go. Extending the rally here at the very end. Very good. A 650 point turnaround from low of the day to where we're going to close at. So that's good. Maybe there's a nice momentum move tomorrow. But this could be a bit of a dead cat bounce. Might last an hour or two tomorrow, and then we may peter out. We'll gauge it in the morning. If you're a Gold Bagel member, like one of these guys up here, join me tomorrow morning in the pre-show. Become a Gold Bagel member, and you can join me before 8:30 in the morning when I do the trading alert show, and we'll cover what happened overnight and what might be happening to start the day. Give you a bit of a heads up on what to expect. Thank you guys for joining me today. We got 2 minutes left to go here. 239, 240 point gain on the Dow. Nice little turnaround there. S&P is up 23 points, half a percentage point. NASDAQ up 160, up 1 1/4, and the Dow up 0.68. So nice little move here. Anyway, there you go. One day at a time as we get ready for tomorrow. Those of you who are sending me emails, if you want to get in on this 3 for 4 deal, you'll see that notification up at the top over there. Over there. Is that how I do it? I guess. You just make a donation to my PayPal account for those 4 for 3 classes. $299.99 gets you 4 classes for the price of 3, and then send me a private email. Bruce, I just sent you a PayPal donation. Here are the 4 classes I would like to get, and I will get them off to you and get you going. And you can start taking these classes and increase your knowledge of these markets and figure out how to write options, even in markets like today where we were down in the morning and up in the afternoon. What a crazy run. 4 for 3. That's what I meant. 4 for 3, not 3 for 4. 4 for 3. Thank you, Larry, for hitting that thumbs up, buddy. Appreciate it. Cindy, you got it. 4 for 3, and Larry has rung the bells. We're done. Thank you, Mr. Larry Titus. Absolutely. We're done for the day with a 240 gain on the Dow. Carvana, 81.29 down 246. Twitter, 51.70 up 277. Sixtera up 62 cents. Rocket Lab up 12 to 783. SoFi 655 up 16 cents on the day. GameStop 135.87 down 234. AMC gained 45 cents. Matterport up a nickel. ME up 17 cents. 323. Thank you. Spire down 4. Lost a dime on Highcroft Mining. ATIP down 2. Smart Rent up 16 to 492. Pfizer up 83 cents. Hewlett Packard up 22. Robinhood up 13 cents. Manic up $4. Home Depot up 489 to 305. IBM 139 up 86. Microsoft up 669 to 280. 280.72 to be exact. Apple up 109, 162.88. Goldman up 175, $321. Cisco up 58 cents. Got Facebook up 288. Amazon up 34. Tesla down $7. Google up 72. And Bed Bath Beyond down 18 cents. BlackBerry up a penny. Royal Caribbean up 71 cents. Royal Caribbean up 71 cents at 82.43. Right on, guys. There's our day. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you made a few dollars today. They're available to be had. We'll see how the market wants to handle things tomorrow, and we'll figure out the pre-market first thing, and get right on it and make money for tomorrow, and look to write contracts that expire this coming Friday, or the one after that, or the one after that. There it is. Good day when you have gains in the stock and the options you sold against it. Isn't it a wonderful feeling, Cindy? It's awful lovely to be doing this. Yes, getting exciting, and it's always good. Anyway, thank you, everybody, from John. Thank you, all of you, for joining me today. Thank you for becoming members of this channel, subscribing, and taking advantage of the 4 for 3 class deal on my website. You can order 4 classes for the price of 3. Follow the instructions. Just check out my video that I posted the other day, and you'll see all the info there. And we'll take care of you. If you need any more info, just send me a private email and just say, Bruce, can you help me out with this whole 4 for 3 deal? I'd like you to explain that to me. I'd be happy to do it, and we'll get you looked after and get you set up with some classes, and you can get studying. You can get to work now, study, and become a little more educated as to how all this works. Thank you, guys, again, for all your support. Have a wonderful evening. We will talk to you tomorrow. This is Bruce and Auntie Jen saying good afternoon from Calgary. Have a pleasant evening, and let's do this again tomorrow. Make some more money. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.